Gordon, looking forward to seeing how Dolly Dancer gets on now. Made a fairly compelling case for Maurice Barnes' mare. She is a big price, and not surprising in such an open field, headed up by Where's Hector, now 100 to 30, clipped in from 7 to 2, 9 to 2 Fever Rock, the Jad Factor 6 to 1 with A's off the Mott, Thunder in Milan, the last start winner 9 to 1, 11 to 1 on Monton, and 12 to 1 Bigger the remainder. Where's Hector, the rightful favourite, Sam?
I think so, yeah, although he's not the easiest to win with, as his form figures would suggest. The Castric run back in January has worked out quite well, thrown up a couple of winners. Also for Bill and Ribeye have come out of that race and won, but the subsequent two efforts, I thought he should have won at Weatherby last time. I don't think he gave Brian Hughes a lot of help that day, and he was beaten ahead in the end, but you know, Brian came to win the race, and I don't know whether the horse hung the latch a little bit, but anyway, he got beaten. I think the hood's been removed today, is it? And I think that might just light him up a little bit. Hopefully for Connections it does.
It was easily his best run so far, though, even in defeat, getting within ahead, having been a somewhat disappointing favourite at Ayr the time before. Things are heading in the right direction.
They are. I mean, I might be doing him a disservice, really. I just felt, you know, if you'd backed him, you were thinking, go on then, you know, you're in a great position here, you're jumping the last level. You just got out-battled, really, by a horse wearing the cheek piece his first time in that little spell, as I said, where Nicky Richards was having all the winners. No Regrets was another one for the list, and yeah, he just couldn't get past him. Where's Hector? But I don't think the ground too much of an inconvenience for him. You know, this trip and track should be fine. No issues there, really. I don't think he'd mind coming back in trip a little bit. He's got a little bit of lateral pace, I think. So, yeah, fingers crossed he goes well for Connections. But I can understand why people might look to take him on a little bit at the top end of the market.
He's looking for his first win under rules and the first win over fences, obviously, as well. This only being his fourth try. Fever Rocks had 6 goes without success over bigger obstacles as well, but a fairly consistent level of form coming into this on a variety of different tests.
Well, Conor Farrell will certainly know what he's got to do to beat Where's Hector, having ridden that a number of times. Yeah, he's still a maiden over fences, Fever Rock, but he has shaped as if one of these is definitely within his compass, probably most notably at Weatherby on decent ground. He was beaten by Carboy. I thought that was a fair enough run. And then at Carlisle last time, he looked like he was coming with a winning run at the last winning run. That might be stretching it a bit, but he was certainly competitive. He just flattened out on the run-in, just found that combination of heavy ground and the Carlisle hill just beyond him a little bit. And I wonder whether this track and ground might just sort of suit him a little bit better here.
11 trips to the racecourses has yielded no success yet for George Bewley's A's off the Mott. Has been slow after wind surgery and a 100-day break. It has been working back into some kind of fitness and therefore better form. There was definitely a jump forward from when he ran here at the start of March to Carlisle last time.
Yes, I think that was a slightly better run, wasn't it? The handicappers probably feel it was on a par with the Kelso run here behind Bolliger at Krug. It was a fair enough run. Yet again, it didn't look as though Carlisle really brought out the best in him. His effort just petered out on the run-in. But I think that, you know, for a mark of 87 or 86, he should be very competitive in a race of this nature, really. Both him and the Jad Factor have been very strong in the market today, and perhaps I think the case for As Off the Mott is a little bit more compelling than the Jad Factor.
Yeah, on the face of it, he is a fairly hard sell, the Jad Factor. Every run that we've seen since he took in this race, this meeting last year when he was behind Listen to the Lady, it's easy to crab him. It's very easy to suggest that he won't be making an impact in this race, but there's been definite support for him in new headgear.
Yeah, I mean, his first run over fences was pretty underwhelming. I think it was a little bit of a look-see. He was quite easy in the market, and he was out the back, and that didn't play to the strengths of the way the race was run that day, with Ardea across obviously going off and making all and rolling back the years. But the run at Hexham next time, which was blighted by errors and eventually saw him pulled up, it was very easy to back that day. In contrast today, on better ground and back at Kelso, as you say, he finished second in the handicap hurdle earlier on the card, behind Listen to the Lady 12 months ago. So maybe this has been a bit of a long-term plan. The money certainly suggests that.
And just a quick word on Monton as well, who comes in on winning form. Winning form very much a premium in this, especially over fences.
Yeah, very much so. You know, look, he's still very feasibly handicapped, isn't he, when you look at his mark and how it slipped in the 12 months. So you'd have to think he's got a fair chance. Old Excellence has been in pretty good heart himself recently.
Now, we're currently part of a little bit of a delay, just to let you know that Redcar is on Racing TV Extra 1, should you want completely uninterrupted coverage of there, and Kelso as well on Channel 2. We believe it was down to the stewards having an inquiry into our previous race. The BHA website will no doubt tell you a little bit more, but we are a little bit delayed at Kelso. This race due off now 3 minutes ago, and runners only just getting down to the start. More time, though, to talk with Gordon Brown.
Don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, Anthony. Yeah, I thought it was a wide open race, to be honest. As I mentioned, Thunder in Milan, the fact that he almost went head, won by a head last time. He's up in trip. He's gone up 4. That's not insurmountable. We haven't seen him since that success on the 1st of March at Musselburgh. He's a lightly raced chaser. He could have a fair bit of more improvement to find, but that was his only win under rules to date. If I had to put up one, it would probably be Rebecca Menzies' Fever Rock. I think he doesn't need to improve too much. He needs to settle down a little bit. His form over fences has been okay so far. He is a winning hurdler, Fever Rock, and as I say, he was keen enough for his own good, albeit on heavy ground at Carlisle last time. But he's performed all right on soft ground as well. He was a good second to Caboy at Wetherby earlier on in the spring. And he's also been second at Newcastle on soft ground during the winter. So I think it's about time he went even closer. Couple of seconds. It's about time he maybe went one better for Rebecca Menzies and the excellent Conor O'Farrell. Starters on his rostrum then, and the man that's got probably as good a view as this start as anybody is our commentator, Darren Owen.
Thanks, Gordon. Flags up, flags down, they're off. For the King's Own Scottish Borderers Handicap Steeplechase, they take the turn before they greet the first of 16 fences. And around that turn to the limit, Broadway Joe, Thunder in Milan and Where's Hector are all forcing the early pace, with a Fever Rock just in behind them, and they're at the first now. And they're all over the first, but a very awkward landing from Zoff de Mott at the back end of the field. So making the run down into the dip, and it is to the limit with the yellow jacket of Where's Hector on the wide outside. Broadway Joe is between horses. Fever Rock in the orange colours, the grey to the inner. Thunder in Milan is just in behind them, with Get With It following the leading bunch as they start the run now to the first of the fences over on the far side. Where's Hector to the limit, Broadway Joe. Fever Rock, Thunder in Milan, and there to the limit, just went sideways, went out to the right there, his right, and into Broadway Joe. Making the approach to the second of the fences down the far side, whereas Hector continues to lead. Back in mid-division, that sees in midfield with Thunder in Milan, the Jad Factor, and En Même Temps to the inside, followed by Contra Ordre and Any Job Will Do as Zoff de Mott and Don't Tell Alan are the last couple as they jump the final fence over on the back. So there's been a bit of pace on this first circuit, and around the turn, leaving the back straight and running now towards the fifth, it's Where's Hector and Brian Hughes. Cutting out the work, leads by 2 lengths. To the limit, Fever Rock, Broadway Joe, all racing handily. Get With It just in behind them. Dolly Dancer gets a shout to the wide outside. The Jad Factor, that's here next, then En Même Temps, Thunder in Milan, Contra Ordre, and Any Job Will Do as Zoff de Mott, Don't Tell Alan. That's the running order, and that was rather a hair-raising leap from Where's Hector. Spent a bit of time in the air and went out to his right. Where's Hector, the leader? Running now towards the turn into the straight and the first of the open ditches. Where's Hector to the limit now, opting for the inside route. Fever Rock is just behind the leaders. Then Broadway Joe, followed by Dolly Dancer to the outside. Get With It, the Jad Factor, then That's Seeing Thunder in Milan, En Même Temps, leader there. Where's Hector over the open ditch, but continuing to jump right-handed. Going on now towards the final fence on the circuit. One more circuit to go. Where's Hector on the outside of To the Limit. Then Fever Rock, Broadway Joe, Dolly Dancer. Get With It in the pink and black jacket, followed by outside, the Jad Factor. That's another grey, that one in the blue and maroon colours. And again, where's Hector determined to join everybody in the grandstand. Heading now towards the enclosures, a circuit to go, and it's where's Hector the leader. To the limit, Fever Rock racing prominently, then Broadway Joe, Dolly Dancer, Get With It. The Jad Factor in midfield with Thatsy running 3 wide into the bend. On Mem Tom to the inside in the purple quarters, followed by the blue jacketed Thunder in Milan. Any Job Will Do, Contra Ordra, and as often Mop. Back marker is Don't Tell Alan, and they're jumping the first fence on the final circuit. So they all land at the 9th fence of the 16, and they're now going towards the back straight for the final time. And it is Where's Hector on the outside. A Dolly Dancer is racing keenly for Henry Brook. To the limit between horses, then Fever Rock, chased by Broadway Joe. Thatsy, and then comes Get With It on the inside of the Jad Factor. Thunder in Milan and Stephen Mulqueen follow. Purple and white colours of Any Job Will Do, 3/4 of the way down the field. Jumping the first down the far side. This overall, they're well grouped, and it's just Where's Hector? Where's Hector to the limit? Dolly Dancer on the extreme outside. Then Broadway Joe. Thatsy's not too far away. Fever Rock is up along the in the orange colours, the grey. Then the Jad Factor, Thunder in Milan, is off Demot's making steady progress. This well-bunched lineup go to the final fence down the far side. And it is Where's Hector, Dolly Dancer, Fever Rock trying to nip up the inner. Broadway Joe just in behind him, noseband, red cap. And then comes Thatsy, followed by Get With It, the Jad Factor. On Mem Tom to the limit now retreating. Thunder in Milan and is off Demot trying to get into the race. So too from off the pace is Don't Tell Alan. They're jumping the first of the fences down the side of the course. Don't Tell Alan in mid-division made a mistake. And it's Dolly Dancer who's now just piling on the pressure to Where's Hector as they jump the fence before the turn in. That's 3 from home. And Dolly Dancer, the mare, has taken over for Henry Brooks. Skips around the turn, as is often what appears on the scene to take second. And then back in third, Fever Rock. And now they're preparing to run to the open ditch. Long time leader Where's Hector's still there to the wide outside. The Jad Factor is trying to make ground. Thunder in Milan is outpaced. Thatsy's trying to get into it. And that was the ditch. Fever Rock, Dolly Dancer as they head now towards the turn. The elbow. Here's Azofdemot to the wide outside taking over. Azofdemot, Dolly Dancer, Fever Rock, Where's Hector, the Jad Factor, Thunder in Milan, and Broadway Joe. Azofdemot and Jonathan Bewley, the leader, making the run down towards the last. Azofdemot, Dolly Dancer, and Where's Hector attempting to come back for more. The Jad Factor's just in behind them. They're on the flat. Azofdemot, Where's Hector over on the far side. Fever Rock and the Jad Factor's really running on. It is Azofdemot, the leader. Where's Hector and the Jad Factor are coming back, and Azofdemot holds on. Azofdemot, the winner. The Jad Factor and Where's Hector, close call for those places, and close in behind between Fever Rock and Thunder in Milan.
Well, Azofdemot's won, I know that. It's close for second place between Where's Hector and the Jad Factor. There we go past the line. Probably maybe the Jad Factor just beating his Hector with back in fourth place Fever Rock. So Azofdemot, I think, has won. The Jad Factor second for me. Where's Hector third? And Fever Rock takes fourth place. I tell you what, it was a big run by the horse I put up at a big price, Dolly Dancer. That's hopefully a signal that she will be set for a campaign come the spring. Well, we're pretty much in spring now, but I think she's one to follow now, Dolly Dancer. But Azofdemot wins for the first time under rules and on just his third chase. He was beaten a fair way at Carlisle last time, but I think the wind op's starting to work. That, along with the better ground for Azofdemot. It was only good to soft, admittedly, at Carlisle, and he came back from wind surgery on the big Premier Chase and Mo Battle Hurdle Day here to finish in fourth place. He was beaten about 16 lengths on that occasion, but it was certainly a step in the right direction compared to what he'd been doing before that. He was probably all out in the end to win as the cavalry were charging at him in the closing stages, but Azofdemot in the end has prevailed by half a length from in second place, as I say, the Jad Factor, who has put that poor effort last time at Hexham behind. I think he's another one that will be benefiting from this better ground. It was heavy at Hexham that day, here, where's Hector has finished in third, and Fever Rock. Well, we talked about the similar level of form when he has completed in his chases. As far as I was concerned, I don't know if he maybe properly saw out the trip this afternoon. He didn't seem to finish as well as he did in previous races, but he's in the end not beaten far. So again, I think that similar level of form can now be said to be for